Hello my friends, firstly let's go to the south region of Kherson because Russians claim that Ukraine crossed the Dnieper river. The Russian military bloggers claim that, and they say that Ukrainian forces regularly cross the river and they have the small camp on the other part of the shore. We call it the Dachi part, and it's very close to Antonovsky Bridge that was destroyed by the Russian forces after they left Kherson in just a few hours. So now we have a small camp over there that is unable to go on offensive missions somewhere in this area, and as you can see, this area is not good for the offensive, mainly because there are many rivers, swamps and lakes. Russia got the control over the nearby village Oleshki, but they cannot go closer to the Dnieper because we got the artillery on the other part of the shore, so they keep out from the positions of Ukrainian army because they may fear of the losses, and the distance from Oleshki to the river is just a little bit less than 5 kilometers. Well, I don't think that it's the first step for Ukrainian counterattack, no, because of these natural obstacles it's just a bad idea to go forward from this place. But to have the military camp on the other part, mostly Russian-controlled territory, is kind of the good idea. But there is a better place for the possible counterattack, and it is near to Nova Kakhovka. Here you can see there are no any swamps, nothing, and you may use this island to cover the advancement of the troops. And locals from Nova Kakhovka reported the shooting inside the city today. I'll turn on the audio for you to hear it.
Серьезная перестрелка. Сегодня у нас 20 число апреля. Город Новая Kakhovka.
Hopefully you might be able to hear the sounds of the shooting, and this guy who was filming, he says that he lives in Nova Kakhovka. And Russia also destroyed this dam over here. Yes, it didn't lead to the natural disaster because the main part is still okay, it holds the water, but it's kind of tricky to make the repairs of this dam because Russians are very close in Nova Kakhovka and they may fire back. So from one side you don't have those natural obstacles on the other shore, but Russia may use Nova Kakhovka to cover their troops. So I would say it's still not ideal place to land the forces, but somewhere here it could be possible. And Ukraine got some sort of the speedboats from the United States of America, around 50 of them. It is enough for some sort of the average mission. Maybe with those boats we might try to liberate the Nova Kakhovka. And just half an hour ago it was the big explosion in Belgorod, the Russian Federation. The explosion was very big. This is the hole in the street. You can see it could be the aviation bomb. For sure it's not the drone or something like that, or it could be the artillery shell, like Pion with more than 200mm caliber. But Ukrainian Pions are unable to reach Belgorod with our shells. As one of the variants, it could be the aviation bomb that dropped down from the Russian airplane. The explosion was so big that one of the nearby cars went to the roof of the nearby shop. I still don't have the information about the casualties or the wounded people around, but I do not support bombing the civilians, even Russians. Ukraine is not fighting against the Russian civilians, even though I still think that majority of Russians do support Putin's regime, but we fight against the Russians who came to Ukraine with weaponry. And also we fight against the Russian military on their territory, but only against the Russian military. And I don't believe that Ukraine made this. And yes, the car is definitely on the roof of that shop, and this is the place of explosion. And this is the perspective from the street itself. As you can see, there are some cars around, and also there are some buildings where people live, so there could be some wounded people. Just want to show you the Belgorod city, so it's kind of close to Ukraine. This is it. But still, our artillery, the Pions with the standard shells, cannot reach that city. The distance is 33 kilometers, 34 kilometers. Only with the special jet shells it is possible for Ukrainian army to reach Belgorod with Pion artillery. But from the information we got before from our military, they say that we haven't got any jet shells for those systems, but those shells could be delivered to Ukraine with the help of our allies. But still, I think gliding is just the Russian aviation bomb that separated and went down to Belgorod, that separated from the airplane and went down to the street. Russia used the local airfield to fly around and bomb the Kharkiv area, so they dropped the aviation bomb somewhere over Belgorod and it flies towards the Kharkiv and nearby place to the Russian border. They used the similar gliding bombs as United States provided Ukraine with. They called JDAM, but Russia has the other word for that. Till this moment, however, I don't have any proofs and just my own thoughts about the case. Right, coming close to Bakhmut, there is some movement. It was yesterday and it is today. Russia took a couple of quarters in this area. I wonder if this bridge was also destroyed across the railways, but it seems like it survived and Russia now took control all over the railroad and now able to go to this base. This is the military base of 54th Brigade as far as I remember, and from this part they may go to attack on every direction of the city, the western side of it. Just recently they started one more vector of attack towards Khromove, but there was no change for today. So day before yesterday they advanced around 500 meters, but for today they stopped the advancement, probably because of the Ukrainian resistance. Wagners themselves claim that they advanced slowly in Opytne village over here because Ukraine got the huge defense lines in that area, and in the city center of Bakhmut, Ukrainian forces, they said, were not able to present the defense as they did in Opytne, so that's why Wagner took the central part of the Bakhmut city much more easily compared to the city suburbs. Well, now they seems to be stuck in the new Ukrainian defense line, and that can go for a very long time. About the area of the possible Ukrainian counterattack near to Oryhev and Hulai Pole, well, there is some fighting and recently it intensified. The Russian military bloggers say that Ukraine tries to find out the weak spot in the Russian defense. Other than that, there are no any changes on the front lines. Let's go to the latest news and events. But firstly, I want to ask you to subscribe for my Telegram channel. It's my alternate resource if something goes wrong with my YouTube channel, and I upload there more often compared to YouTube. We are very close in reaching 140,000 subscribers on Telegram, so my friends, join me there. Alright, we have some breaking news. Russia admitted that it was the unintended separation of the aviation bomb from the Sukhoi Su-34 of the Russian Air Force. The separation was over the Belgorod city, and yes, you saw the result. They also say that there are no casualties and investigation is ongoing. Well, at least they admitted it. I think that Russians who were living very close to that explosion area are just lucky not to be at that particular spot at that particular time. Well, it was quite late for them and mostly people were in their flats, apartments, and there were not many cars on this road, even though the Belgorod city is not under the constant bombing by the rockets or the drones as many of Ukrainian cities. Today people felt that Russia is in war, and now there are air raids all over Ukraine, excluding Lugansk and Crimea because they're occupied mostly by the Russian forces. It is like that because Russia launched MiG-31K that are capable to carry the hypersonic missiles, and their range allowed to target any place in Ukraine. I posted on my Telegram channel the video how a Ukrainian officer punches the private during the training. Well, that officer is under the investigation right now and he may obtain around 12 years in prison. Luckily, the video appeared on the media. Well, the Ukrainian army is the great one, but still there are some dickheads as in every community. And luckily, they will be punished. The United States Defense Minister Lloyd Austin has arrived to Ramstein today. This is the American military base in Germany. And tomorrow there will be a big meeting of our allies together with the Ukrainian representatives. The last time it was done online, but now they all gonna meet together, so probably we should expect something extraordinary. The long-range missiles delivered to Ukraine, or maybe jets, who knows. And this is the video showing how you shouldn't fly the FPV drone in a normal life, but Ukrainian soldiers sometimes fly it in a very close proximity to the Russian soldiers. So don't do it at home. Don't fly your drone into the human, you may hurt them. I should have said that because it's the educational video. You see that you can scare the people because they're afraid and run, and also you may hurt them with your drone, so don't fly like that. This stunt was performed by professionals and somehow they lost the connection at the very end. Yes, the signal could be bad and you may lose the connection with your drone in a very critical moment. The most powerful rocket in the world, Starship, was launched today by the SpaceX, and it appeared that it was the most expensive firework because a rocket just exploded in the skies. I think one of the stage failed to separate and the engine ignited, so it is like that, but it's the first try and the next try will be much more successful. There is a big scandal in Ukraine right now about our guys who tried to hijack the Russian military jets. Some of our guys who work in IT were able to find the information about the Russian military pilots, and they blackmailed them and also proposed the price if they hijack their own planes and deliver them to Ukraine. This operation was led by one of the Ukrainian agents as well, but the Russian FSB somehow understood the story and they jailed all of the pilots. And the Russian FSB agents joined this operation from their side, pretending to be the Russian pilots. They even posted some of the pictures near to the airplanes. And they had agreed for a specific date to deliver 3 of the airplanes, but Russians delivered not the airplanes but lots of the rockets to the Ukrainian airfield, killing one of the Ukrainian commanders and destroying 2 Ukrainian airplanes. Also, there was the Bayraktar base on that particular Ukrainian airfield, and there are some rumors that Russia also destroyed the hangar with Bayraktars. This failed operation was conducted last year, long time ago, but we have the details right now. And now the Ukrainian side opens the investigation against the agent who was responsible for the deal from the Ukrainian side, and also against the IT guys who were able to find the data of the Russian pilots. The good thing for Ukraine that Russian pilots were greedy, so they were jailed by their own government, let's say. But unfortunately, the Russian FSB managed to break the deal. And the military base name is Kanatovo, which is very close to Kropivnitsky. I used to study there to become a pilot, but I haven't flown on this particular airfield. Russia found the debris of the Ukrainian kamikaze drone and they ask everyone to identify it, and they think that it's the Israeli drone. But I think that it is the Switchblade 600, at least it looks like that. My friends, I'm gonna keep you updated on situation in Ukraine. Now please press the like to this video, and also if you want to support my job, there are some of the links in the video description below. You may also support me on Patreon or on the sponsorship on this YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your awesome support. My friends, I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.